Okay, from there, they've revised their plan now and their timeline. They decide on roles that they'll play, and the team makes recommendations about who will do what on the team and makes those then to the instructor again. Again, it's the instructor's job as project manager to make sense of the allocations. If somebody's trying to go for a free ride, it's the instructor's job to figure that out and try and make sure that there's some equity in the workload balance and how and that it makes sense given the various skills and gifts that different members of the team bring. Sometimes the instructor is in a better position to know that than the team members are themselves. From then on, the course is made up of weekly project meetings. We don't even call them class meetings. We don't call this a class at this point. We talk about project meetings that we get together, and the instructor as the project manager runs those meetings. We have a weekly agenda where we review the readings for the week, where students talk about what they found in readings that will inform their work. And then we have roundtable reports where we go around and each individual reports on progress for the week toward the project, toward the completion of the project. We identify resources and supports that are needed by individuals in the team, and then we open the discussion for difficulties and opportunities. And this is almost an agenda that's memorized by people by the end. There are very few surprises in terms of the big agenda items that we deal with from week to week. But then there are also 3 client meetings and deliverables. These are kind of special get-togethers of the group, and what happens at these meetings is the principal client and any other members of the organization who would like to attend are invited to receive a report from the instructional design team. Now this is kind of like a boardroom report. Business attire and a professional attitude are required, and I make a big deal about this with the students. I emphasize how important it is to act professionally, yet personably. And as they move along, it's really fascinating to see how these students mature. How at first they're very stiff and formal in their approach, and then later they're very professional, but they're still relaxed, but they're more relaxed in how they approach the client. I mean, it's a natural progression, isn't it? But one that happens because I think they have this opportunity to behave in a professional arena. The 3 deliverables are a front-end report, where needs assessment, learner assessment, context analysis, that sort of thing. They actually deliver a print report, but an oral report accompanies it. The client then signs off on that report. We have, by the way, one of the things that we find is very important in this is that we have one individual on the client group who is responsible for signing off. We don't want to be negotiating fine points with a board of directors or a volunteer group from week to week. We want one person to take responsibility for this. Then for the prototype, when we roll out a prototype, again, we have a deliverable meeting followed by a signing ceremony, and then the evaluation and final report. After all of this is done, there's usually a client sign-off and party that goes with it. And if I could just wrap this up by saying I think the biggest advantages we see with this service learning approach to instructional design is there are a series of advantages. The enthusiasm we see from our students. There is complete buy-in. I have never yet seen a time when students haven't just owned the process that they're in. So, and this contributes then to their sense of being an instructional designer instead of learning about becoming an instructional designer. They adopt the role. They become designers, and there's this becoming that's very important. And it's an understanding that the practice of instructional design, again, I see it in them, that it goes beyond traditional notions of what training and education might be. These students grow up a great deal as instructional designers. I think they'd be the first ones to acknowledge that. The biggest disadvantage I see, and it's an important one I think, is that each iteration of the course is a one-off. it's much less standard. I can't predict from one offering of the course to the next exactly what the content of the course is going to be. It's so dependent on the context, it's so dependent on the task. But that's a reasonable sacrifice, I think. I may live to eat those words.